The Internet Archive is a library of unimaginable depth, containing a wealth of knowledge in digitized publications, articles, journals, and other historical data from all around the world. It is also home to the Wayback Machine, which is in itself a digital library for the online landscape of websites and social media, allowing users to essentially go back in time and see how these sites looked in the past, showcasing archived versions of those sites and their associated data, highlighting their evolution or even preserving older versions that no longer exist. This archive has been subjected to a recent denial of service or DDoS attack, which has intermittently knocked its services offline. In tandem with this, the archive suffered a data breach which exposed roughly 31 million users' information. As an amateur online historical sleuth, this library is my primary resource when diving into new topics. With an estimated 42 million print materials, it is likely the most substantial resource in the digital space, an unparalleled collection of information that is available, and much of it for free. That cannot be understated. I would say over 80% of the videos posted on this channel are from publications found within this archive. It is a service that I and many others use on a daily basis. It is a library created for the preservation of knowledge on a global scale, and should it ever be lost, would easily be equated to the largest of book burnings throughout our known history. Therefore, this video is dedicated to creating awareness of these situations, to inspire others to not only collect and preserve for themselves, but to not take these archives for granted. I certainly did. One day it was accessible, and the next it was not. It can be difficult to comprehend the value of something until it is no longer available. It should be noted that there are posts on X that confirm no data has been lost due to the latest and specific incident. Whether or not this is true will remain to be seen. However, recent legal battles the Internet Archive has dealt with resulted in the removal of roughly 500,000 books from lending on the archive.org and openlibrary.org. The Open Library being a project under the Internet Archive which offers free access to digital books and information. It's a comprehensive catalog, 25 million records of book editions, full texts of roughly 1.6 million public domain books, and allows users to contribute info and even corrections to this catalog. This is essentially the lending apparatus of the Internet Archive. The removal of 500,000 books was due to 4 major players in the publishing world, which sued the Internet Archive for its lending practices during the pandemic. What happened was the Internet Archive launched the National Emergency Library, which offered free access to digitized books during the pandemic-related closures of libraries, essentially allowing unlimited lending of digitized books. Many years ago, this came as a surprise to me that books were unavailable online because they were being loaned out, thinking that the purpose or at least major benefit of any online library would be unlimited distribution. However, the way it works seems to be similar to regular libraries where instead of limited tangible books, there are limited digital licenses. These licenses are bought and then renewed if you want to continue using them. My understanding is that this is done through the publishing companies themselves, and they are certainly not cheap. Legally, the Internet Archive was stepping into some murky waters. However, morally, it was a response to a literal pandemic, which limited access to public libraries. It performed an essential task, doing that online where mass distribution of information could happen effectively. It may have even saved lives. 127 books were sued over, claiming the act was mass copyright infringement. The Internet Archive founder argues that libraries are more than the customer service departments for corporate database products. For democracy to thrive at global scale, Libraries must be able to sustain their historic role in society, owning, preserving, and lending books. This ruling is a blow for libraries, readers, and authors, and we plan to appeal it. That appeal was rejected, the ruling in favor of the publishing companies. From the other side, this decision upholds the rights of authors and publishers to license and be compensated for their books and other creative works, and reminds us in no uncertain terms that infringement is both costly and antithetical to the public interest. In response, the Internet Archive respects the opinion of the courts, and while we are saddened by how this setback affects our patrons and the future of all libraries, the Internet Archive remains strong and committed to our mission of universal access to all knowledge. Now, laws do help regulate and keep some semblance of balance in civilized society. However, in these instances, they do feel cold and rigid. It does not matter that this archive was providing a crucial service in a chaotic period of time, allowing access to information when it was severely limited or literally impossible, depending on your location or situation. Regardless, the damage has been done, and now with the most recent attack, the site was completely shut down for several days, and still is with the recording of this video. It is a stark reminder that these bastions of knowledge are not impenetrable. There was a claim behind this attack, yet I am unsure if that can truly be verified. Just as with all of the information published on this channel, it is wise to question, to search, and research for yourself, not merely rely on what has been told to you. It is an incredible time that we are living in, truly. The advancement in technology and availability of information. Even with the Internet Archive alone, you may have access to more information from this single website than entire nations a few centuries ago. All available from a phone in your pocket, having the ability to search for specific texts or phrases that appear in multiple texts. Should you stumble upon a book that is written in a different language, you can have it translated almost instantaneously through various online services, many for free. And now, with the rise of AI or artificial intelligence, ideally these searches will be amplified to mind-boggling scale, if they are not controlled and given bias. But I understand that that could be a very slippery slope. AI could have the potential of being the next technological leap, maybe even equal to the unveiling of the internet in the public space. It is my hope that AI will be a net positive moving forward. Despite many updates from the Internet Archive themselves, stating that the data was not affected, we won't truly know if anything has been digitally adjusted or edited. This may be an overly skeptical approach, yet that is my personal nature. It's not just a matter of creating awareness of what has transpired, but to question many avenues. Why target the Internet Archive? Is the timing important? Why has this happened mere weeks before an election in the United States? Will this affect future use of these resources? In many cases, these archives are the only outlets to gain access to various publications. There are plenty of voices online that vouch for tangible copies of old books, which is a valid point. The best course of action would be to obtain originals. However, many, including myself, do not have the time, the funds, or space to facilitate such a library. These online archives are my only portal to obtaining knowledge and creating a channel like Latent Lexicon. We must also try to appreciate newer avenues of information as much as the old. There may have been a time where the simple act of writing was seen as a destruction of memory, initially thought as an invention of preservation of knowledge, of traditions, of culture through the ages, would then replace the act of storytelling. The oral traditions that were preserved through memory would then be diminished and potentially forgotten. Once this website goes back online, I would encourage anyone with an interest in historical documents to begin a collection. Pick a topic, a genre, an era, and collect. For those that enjoy this channel and the work that I do here, please consider creating your own small library of topics that interest you. Additionally, if you have the resources to do so, donate to the Internet Archive. What is being done to preserve historical information with this website is admirable and absolutely needs to be protected. The team behind this non-profit digital library, which offers millions of free books, is obviously doing it the best. They will no doubt appreciate the support. And let me be clear, this video is not sponsored or affiliated with the Internet Archive. The preservation of history and knowledge should be important in any society. We are clearly now in a new landscape of next generational warfare, and that is of information and the mind. The small archive which I have collected will continue to be posted on YouTube, on X, and eventually a personal website, so stay tuned for that update. Just like the Department of Publicity and Promotion from the Columbian Exposition, these videos are meant to flood outwards and crash against the waves of manufactured or accepted narratives. This is primarily why I try to take a very neutral stance in any presentations and avoid commentary on visual publication slideshows. They are for preservation, for education, entertainment, and for research in general should you have enough interest to do so. Now, a recent post by the founder of the Internet Archive, Brewster Kahle, regarding the recent attacks stated, "We're taking a cautious, deliberate approach to rebuild and strengthen our defenses. Our priority is ensuring the Internet Archive comes online stronger and more secure. Additionally, as a library community, we are seeing other cyber attacks. For instance, the British Library, Seattle Public Library, Toronto Public Library, and now Calgary Public Library. We hope these attacks are not indicative of a trend. If we begin to allow these massive disruptions or even potential alterations of our collective historical databases, there is no telling where our shared knowledge could end up or be displaced to. Yet maybe there are hints or whispers, small glimmers of what would happen if every record has been destroyed or falsified, every book rewritten, every picture has been repainted, every statue and street building has been renamed, every date has been altered, and the process is continuing day by day and minute by minute. History has stopped. Nothing exists except an endless present in which the party is always right." Now, I would just like to take a few moments to thank all of you who choose to watch and write meaningful comments in support of this channel. I really should do this more often. It is somewhat hard to believe that the videos I make are reaching hundreds or even thousands of people, and some of those people are even eager for future episodes. That just boggles my mind. I know time is a precious commodity and you're willing to spend some of it watching the things that I create. That is beyond humbling and I truly appreciate it. I'm constantly working to create better productions and it has proved to be a challenging task. And honestly, I'm still testing and working on my audio to get it consistent and keep a flow going. It's a work in progress. Now, this was a bit of a departure from the regular videos, but felt it was important to talk about. So, thank you for listening. if you still are. You're my people. And with that, I encourage you to be curious, be discerning, learn how to learn, and be skeptical of what you learn. Thank you all for the continued support and joining me on this journey to re-educate myself on our mysterious past.